Do it again. Hello, everybody, and welcome. We got a lot to talk about tonight, man. A lot of things going on, but we are going to kick it off with AEW tonight, though. We are starting this review hot, okay? Very hot off tonight. Champaign, Illinois. I believe at the University of Illinois. I've been there before. I think it was for a college trip one time, but yes, they are in Champaign, Illinois. Commentary, JR, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone being back on commentary. What was going to happen on tonight's show of AEW? Basically, we kick off a six-man tag to pretty much start off the crowd hot. The Young Bucks and Dustin Rhodes, who kind of had a mixture of the Young Bucks gear on, to go against Sammy Guevara and Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz. Now, before I do get into the match, let's talk about the first issue, which I don't know if everybody had this tonight. I had the issue, and I know someone else that had the issue also when watching the show, either from a streaming service or if you're watching it on TV and that. But let's talk about the audio issues again with AEW. Now, I know there's been audio issues for weeks, but these audio issues lasted for nearly 10 minutes out there tonight, okay? Number one, the issues were very bad. They were just either clipping, it was a lot of clipping, blips, stuff going silent. The volume was very, very low for the show because I thought it was my TV at first, but I found out it was the actual show itself. And this went on for nearly 10 minutes out of this entire match also, because I could barely hear anything, and it's like the audio would get normal, and then it would go very low. It's like you have to turn your TV up very loudly to hear it, and it's almost like after the 10, 11 minute mark, during the show, that's when the audio levels started to go back to normal then. And I just thought that was a very constant annoyance. And did it take away from the match in a way? Yes, it did. It was just a lot of just blips and just very bad sound clipping, and I don't know what's going on back there. And I know I've heard about the audio issues for a few weeks now in AEW, from volume being too low, or commentators not being heard, or just maybe the music is too loud or the music is too low. But these were just like blatant audio clips right in front of your face that you can even name what was going on. But after the 10-minute mark, that's when the audio started to get fixed in. Was this a spot fest of a match? Yes, it was, and of course I expect it to be because it's the Young Bucks in a way. And I did like when Matt Jackson did the whole Northern Light suplex thing, even a double one on both Santana and Ortiz, while all three of them took him out. One thing I kind of thought where the match was about to be over, though, was when Ortiz grabbed the slapjack there, because Dustin was about to go for the which, by the way, Dustin Rhodes did a Canadian Destroyer out there. Man, like I've said before, man, everyone just kills that Canadian Destroyer nowadays. But he was going to go for the Shattered Gems on Guevara, but Ortiz hit him with the slapjack, I think, in the nuts. Next thing you know, Sammy Guevara hits a 630 on him, which I swear to God, I thought the match was about to be over. But the crowd was still hot then. And everything. Of course, there's multiple dives at that point. One thing I thought that didn't make sense, because Proud Powerful, they saw a triple team, pretty much double power bomb, and to like a rope stomped in on Dustin and stuff. And one thing I didn't know where Sammy Guevara was going for this, but Sammy Guevara gets his camera phone right, and he goes to the top rope. I guess he was gonna do like a selfie or just film himself doing a shooting star press while holding the phone, but he ended up doing the shooting star press, landing into a double super kick by the Young Bucks then. I'm like, what was he going for? I was surprised his phone didn't break landing all the way to the ground, but I guess his phone was okay. But basically, after that, Dustin and Matt Jackson pretty much had Santana Ortiz in the tombstone. Nick was on the top rope. He did a double drop kick, pushing himself back into Sammy Guevara, landing on the back of him. In a way, I guess this was a super Meltzer driver move, landing on Guevara again, the 1-2-3. So the Bucks and Dustin Rhodes basically got a win right here. So it was a spot fest, basically. I enjoyed the match. It was okay. I know a lot of people don't like, those spot fest stuff, but that's all I can really take from this. This was a spot fest. This was basically a spot fest match. But it's just the audio issues. That's what really took away from the match, in my opinion. Just constant problems until they finally got back to the normal audio for the rest of the night then. You know, because the volume was just all over the place. It's low, it's high, and it goes low again until we got to its normal volume lift in to mic up everything. Trent with Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor there went against Phoenix, which I thought it was funny. Phoenix said, well, Justin Roberts says, accompanied to the ring by Pentagon Jr., which there was no Pentagon Jr., by the way, so it's just Phoenix. The match itself with Trent Barretta out there, it was an okay match. I thought it was pretty good. Phoenix is just hard to keep up with sometimes because he is just all over the place, but I can see there was some miscues at one point where Phoenix had to hold his balance until he could hit a move. Phoenix did end up winning with the Black Fire Driver for the win, so it was a good match. I will say that between him and Barretta out there. So Trent and Phoenix put on a good match. Cody Rhodes came out, had a suit on. Tony Schiavone was in the ring. He was getting ready to interview him. And Cody pretty much talked about the scar. That is a reminder of failure on his face. That scar is really sick, by the way. And pretty much says that he can never challenge for the title again. And talked about he got a beat down again last night. And, normally he would ask, for some help. But everyone's kind of occupied right now. His brother's in a blood feud with the Young Bucks against Santana and Ortiz in them. Brandy's around cutting people's hair for some odd reason, which we will get into that later in the night because I got a lot to talk about this show, especially this episode being centered around dark, spooky, satanic gimmicks out here tonight. And his best friend kicked him in the nuts at Full Gear. And then he talked about the Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny and whatnot, pretty much asking that, if you wanted a match, you could have asked for one, but he understands the whole pop and circumstance thing. And he says, there will be a match, and he's going to pick a partner to go against them. But other than, when that happens, whenever that match happens, I guess it's next week, he wanted to go back to MJF, and pretty much he talked about how nobody didn't want him and everything, that he was hood rich and had a fake scarf, and that he was too short, and he had the worst crossroads in wrestling, and that's being botched on 2 networks right now, which I felt that was a shot at WWE, which I'm sure everybody kind of caught that too, because even I was wondering, did Cody just shoot out the WWE again, which I kind of figured it would be. I saw that commercial also AEW had of, what was it, where we buried NXT better than NXT, which I thought it was funny just looking at the ratings, from last week. And what was it? NXT beat them in the ratings big time last week, which I know they beat them before the week before that, but they beat them even more and the numbers went down for AEW. So it's just, but AEW's had toppled NXT multiple weeks in ratings, but funny how they just put that commercial out saying, we buried NXT, we toppled NXT. I'm like other people though, man, stop taking shots at the WWE and just focus on making the company great, okay? Because listen, we've seen this for several weeks now, especially from Cody and maybe other, in and out of jokes or, inadvertently or just blatant at the WWE. It's almost like I've heard a joke or a shot at them almost every week now. I really have, of them just taking shots at WWE. So this was just another one, but I just laughed at that commercial when they said, better than NXT, just kind of shitting on them in a way as best as they were trying to, do, just burying them. But of course, Cody called MJF a Bush League NWO version of Chris Jericho, and then pretty much says, MJF wouldn't wrestle him, but he wanted to sweeten the pot. So how about I offer you a couple things? I'm going to offer you my Black Ops truck and everything that's worth a lot of money. And then he took off this expensive watch from Tony Khan. He got from the Louis Vuitton red shoes. I'm sure that cost a lot of money. And a briefcase, $50,000 full of cash, which he actually gave $100 to a fan who was, I think it was just a kid in a suit, by the way. And, he says, make sure you give that guy over there $100 basically. So good for him. All he had to do was stand there and he got $100. So good on the kid. But Cody pretty much says that, he said that MJF reminds him of the future, very brash like him, and he would be the man to educate him. And he demanded MJF's name and price, and and I'll see you then. So honestly, Cody basically told you how rich he is and how much money he has and stuff to challenge MJF, which he's also pretty much being a rich guy also in his gimmick too. But basically, Cody almost reminded me of Ric Flair challenging Eric Bischoff back back then in WCW during the 90s. If you do not believe me, go look up Ric Flair's promo, because he talked about offering his suit, the $100 Gator shoes he had, taking off his shirt, the expensive Armani suits and the jackets and the expensive watch. Go look it up. It was almost basically a little bit of the same thing to get Eric Bischoff to fight him back then, except Cody's doing it. The only thing the difference that, you know, Ric Flair is just insane and just great on the fucking microphone. I'm not discrediting Cody also, but when you see Ric Flair cut a promo, it's just insane. You don't know what that guy is gonna say. Now, Greg, you don't believe me? Go look it up on YouTube. But Cody still, it was kind of basically the same thing, except Cody was a little more, you know, calm and collective with his, but it was still a good promo by Cody, though, of him just, you know, hey, I got this much money. How much you got? I'm gonna offer it up. You want a match? Come on, I got 50 grand with your name on it right here. So, other than that, Joey Janela challenged Jon Moxley tonight. Moxley walking up to him, said kids, and walked off. They showed another Dark Order promo of just some dude, look, he was some fanboy writing an email, I guess, joining them. They were in the middle of the woods having, I guess, some type of, you know, ceremony of bringing him into the group, or what is it, the name, that induction, I guess they're inducting him or something into the group, and talk about all the recruits got to leave their family or abandon them, but one of these guys, it was that fat dude that they said that looked like Conrad, saying he was just wanting friends. Basically, all these Dark Order masked guys just beat the living crap out of this fat guy, basically. So, I don't know where they're doing. It's basically a cult, okay? I've already said before, this religious cult-like group, that's basically what this is. This probably would have worked for the Dark Order before they came in the company, and that would have worked, because right now, I don't think they are over. I'm not really that big of a fan of Dark Order in general. I think Stu Grayson is better than the Evil Uno guy, because I don't think a lot of people understand where this Dark Order thing is going, because I don't think it's over. Maybe the promo videos will help them, but this is one of the first things of this whole dark satanic cult gimmicks that are coming around right now in AEW, okay? Next, Nyla Rose came out. I guess they said she attacked Shauna backstage. Shauna, I think I said her name right. Shauna. She went against Leva Bates. I was not paying attention. I didn't pay attention to this match in general, okay? And this is basically a squash. Nyla Rose ended up just beating, you know, Leva Bates out there. Of course, Avalon jumped in. They got a double choke slam. She hit a power bomb. It was over. Shauna came out then because she was going to hit another power bomb on Bates and maybe for a third one, but Shauna came for the save. She hit a crossbody and some punches, but Nyla Rose still took her down with a power slam. So, yeah, just a squash on her. And here's the weird thing. They went to commercial then. I guess during the commercial with the side-by-side screen, Nyla Rose ended up powerbombing Rick Knox through the table, and then powerbombed Shauna on top of him then. So there you go. I wasn't really paying much attention to that. Chris Jericho, basically the best thing out of this entire show every week, comes out with Jake Hager that Le Champion is in Champaign, Illinois, and that, you know, basically this town is full of losers, that no one is ever successful as him. They started chanting Tony. Fan says, who the hell is that? Jericho talked about his bottle of champagne, a little bit of the bubbly, and that I guess it sold over 10,000 bottles. And he is being forced to put his title on the line on the final AEW of the year on December the 18th in Corpus Christi. But he gets to pick his own opponent. And next thing you know, he had a list, which, of course, the fans pop more, but Chris Jericho said, everybody sit down, shut up. This isn't 2016 anymore, okay? So this isn't the list of 2016 with Chris Jericho. This is the Lexicon of Le Champion list. And basically, he named all these people he refused to wrestle, which multiple times was Moxley, but he said Hangman Page, Diamond Dallas Page, Cody Rhodes, which he can't challenge anymore, Young Bucks, Old Buck, Papa Buck, whatever Buck, who else? Kenny Omega, Kenny Ortega, Kenny from South Park, Darby Allin, Alan Jones, I'm sure you all know who that is, AJ Styles, Alan Jones, think about that. These goofy looking guys in the crowd, that one in the third row with the bad hat, all these random people he just named, Michael Nakazawa, just funny names Chris Jericho kept coming up with. Scorpio Sky, Too Cold Scorpio, the Scorpions, he didn't want to face any of them until the Jurassic Express came out. People chanted for Luchasaurus. Jericho said dinosaurs and little children are not on this list. Luchasaurus growled, and he said, I have a master's degree in medieval history, and that dinosaurs have been marginalized for over 65 million years. And he said that Marco Stunt is small for his age, but he's more of a man than Jericho would ever be. Jericho pretty much said that, Marco Stunt is small for any age. You ain't lying about that. And basically said, if it's not one of you guys, who is it then? He said that Jungle Boy, I guess, was going to be the one challenging for the title. And Jericho said that, Jack Perry, that's the one. You haven't won a match yet. You won a title shot, huh? The Hollywood Golden Boy, as he called him. And, basically when he called himself the Hollywood Golden Boy and everything and stuff, Jericho basically pretty much said, I think you're a piece of shit, which that popped the crowd. Everybody's getting away with that word nowadays on TV. And pretty much Jericho, he got in his face then. Jungle Boy looked like he was a little nervous to be on the microphone at one point. But yes, he basically said that, I know I can last with you over 10 minutes. And he says, I'm going to kick your ass pretty much for the title then as, Jungle Boy said he could kick his ass. He could last 10 minutes with him. He slapped Chris Jericho, and then there was a brawl. I'm glad Chris Jericho did not sell to Marco Stunt doing punches like this, because I have no idea what the hell that was, because Marco Stunt just looked very ineffective out there. I didn't mind Luchasaurus and, Jake Hager and all them, but they ended up knocking Jericho out of the ring, and Jericho says, we'll see you on December the 18th. So, Jericho's doing what he can to get, I guess, younger talent over, I guess, in the company and whatnot. Jungle Boy, I like Jungle Boy. I do. I hope, I'm sure that will be a good match between him and Jericho, though. I think it will be. I'm sure people may want to see Luchasaurus get a title shot, but Jungle Boy, I'm giving a chance. I like him, okay? I think he's pretty good part of this whole act with Luchasaurus and everything. But, of course, Jericho mostly being the highlight out there, because, come on, Jericho just makes anything look good, okay? He remixed the list, okay? That's basically what he did. He had the list, now he's reinvented and remixed his own list into the Lexicon of Les Champions. So, that list thing is hilarious. Hikaru Shida, though, went against Chris Statlander, which I guess she has like a pirate gimmick going on, if I'm not mistaken. She's a pirate, I guess. But yeah, I'm sorry, I was checking something real quick. But yeah, she's basically a pirate. Pirate. Why did I say pirate? Pirate, not a pirate. She's an alien. Okay, she's basically an alien. Hold on a second. But yeah, she's basically like an alien now, Chris Statlander. I think Chris Statlander is pretty good too. This was actually a better women's match, okay? Heard Hikaru Shida did a good match out there, which was very enjoyable. Probably one of the best women's matches they probably had in this company in a while, to be honest. Even, Statlander getting a big win over Shida with the Big Bang Theory as a finisher. So I enjoyed this match. This was not a bad women's match, okay? This was actually a really good one, honest. But then this is where it got weird. We then went to Brandy Rhodes and Awesome Kong, who came out. Brandy pretty much had the microphone, and, people loathe what they can't understand that scares them. And, you all been clamoring what's been going on, but let her shed a little light. Pretty much says they're part of the Nightmare Collective, a part of the Nightmare family, and, they want to do what needs to be done, and no one's going to ask any questions. But she had no issue with Chris Statlander, but she's in her business, even though Brandy was the one that came out, so how's she in her business? Basically, they want the Nightmare Collective to grow. They offered her the spot, but then next thing you know, they just kind of switched to some random person trying to get in the ring, some fan, allegedly, or a planted fan. one in the pledge, and they end up going in the ring and cutting their hair. So basically, I said this right off the bat. So is this like a new straight edge society or something like that? What CM Punk did with cutting off people's hair, because that's basically what I'm seeing right now. Okay, that really is, because I don't understand where this is going. I don't understand this gimmick, whatever this dark, satanic, Nightmare Collective, spooky faction cult gimmicks that are going on right now in AEW. It doesn't really make sense. I'm trying to understand what Brandy's even talking about. Chris Tallender never answered if she was ever going to join or not, so we never even heard from that, because it's almost like we went to this random person by ringside just to cut her hair off. So I have no idea where that's going. I honestly don't. Okay, so that was just odd, strange. Hey man, as long as Brandy doesn't wrestle, then okay. But I'm not understanding where they're going with this gimmick. It just, I don't know, man. Just once again, like my friend told me tonight, we have another spooky gimmick going on right now. Christopher Daniels came out to go against Pentagon Jr. Not a bad match, I will say that. Daniels was gonna go for the BME, but it did not work. Pretty much landed on the back of his neck. He hit the Angel's wings on Pentagon Jr. Phoenix came out. He had the mic stand. He threw it in the ring. Daniels was going to use it. The referee was distracted. Pentagon ended up kicking Christopher Daniels in the nuts, and then he hit the package pile driver for the win. So another win for Pentagon Jr. there. So it was a pretty good match. I will say that. But yeah, the Lucha Brothers, though, I guess they are still heels, which I guess they needed the win anyways, because they had kind of lost in the past few weeks now. The Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny, we got a video package, which I hope was going to explain who they were, but we didn't really get an explanation who or why or what they are there. All they basically said was that they told Cody they were sick of seeing his face everywhere, and that they're the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny, and that they are here to cause him pain in his house, and that they were going to cut off the head of the snake. So we still don't really know who the Butcher or the Blade are. They didn't really explain who they were, why they're here, what they're doing, why they're even going against Cody Rhodes. They just basically said, we just want to take out Cody Rhodes because we just want to take out Cody Rhodes, basically. So we don't know what the point of this is. In a way, I'm kind of like Brian Alvarez in a way. I probably would have popped louder if they had the Bunny from New Japan show up last week, Peter in the Bullet Club, because that would have been a good sight to look at. And then again, both Hurt and Allie are hot in general. But the Bunny in New Japan, though, man, take a look, motherfucker. Take a look. I promise you, take a look. But honestly, I still don't know who these people are. Which even, I think even Cody said this earlier about Pepper Potts or whatnot. Braxton Sutter out there saying he saw him in bar wrestling or whatnot. I don't know what Beyond Wrestling or something. I only know the guy from Impact, honestly, when he was Braxton Sutter. So I still don't know where this gimmick is going. And they didn't even give a good explanation of who they are still. We don't know. So we're still trying to figure that out. Jon Moxley went against Joey Janela. This wasn't a bad main event. I think Jon Moxley carried this whole damn match, number one. I'm still trying to ban Janela, but I just don't get Jelly Janela. I'm sorry, Joey Janela out there, not Jelly Janela. I'm sure you all know the joke with Jelly Janela. We're kind of agreeing more and more about that. But Janela, basically, which wasn't that bad of a match. I just think most of it was on Moxley carrying it. I did like the table spot in a way with, Janela coming from out of nowhere. But, Mox hit the Death Rider on the top of the turnbuckle. Then he hit another Death Rider in the ring. Jon Moxley is just a freaking beast out there. Probably one of the other best things on the show. Chris Jericho in the Inner Circle came out then right after Mox won his match, coming through the crowd like Mox pretty much having to stare down the end of the show. Honestly, I thought this was an up and down episode of AEW. Some things I did enjoy. I did enjoy the Jericho promo because it's Jericho. Cody had a good promo out there too. I did like the 6-man, but the audio issues was just very, very bad. So we still don't know who the Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny are like that. The main event was pretty good too. Mostly because of Jon Moxley. That's one of the other really good things on the show. But Phoenix and Trent was pretty okay, and same with Pentagon and Daniels out there. But I don't know, man. Just up and down. I didn't really pay attention to the Nyla Rose part of it. some things are making sense. Some things are still not making sense on the show. Like I said, it's very up and down on this episode. I'm sure people are going to talk about what's with all these cult dark gimmicks going on too, and I understand where that's going also. But I don't know, man. A little bit of up and down for AEW. And it was a solid show. It had its parts. I will say that. It had its parts here on there. But there are some things that still don't make sense in the way of what's going on and everything. Like I said, we still don't know why the Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny are a thing to begin with. We just know they want to beat up Cody and cut the head off the snake or the leader or whatnot. So that's basically what they'd want to do, whatever's going on. But like I said, I enjoyed the promos, I would say, than maybe some more of the matches. I thought Chris Styler there and Hikaru Shida was good, too. That was actually one of the better women's matches I've seen in a while in AEW, okay? So that's my thoughts on that. But other than that, I'm done with this review for Dynamite tonight. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought about the show tonight. Follow me on Twitter at HoodNight890 and check out any other review that's online right now. But other than that, I will be back with a NXT review later on. I will see you guys later. I'm out. Peace.